Hi guys, and welcome to another C# lecture here on IT.Tutorials. I am Josef Botnar. I'm continuing the series of lectures, part of C# full course from beginner to advanced. This lecture has the goal to talk about integrated development environment. In order to be able to write code, specifically in C#, you need to have an integrated development environment. It's recommended to have an integrated development environment. Also, you can use a code editor, which is a simpler way to code. A code editor has less tools, less power than an IDE. So up to you which one do you want to use. I'm going to show you in this lecture the differences between an integrated development environment and a code editor, and you decide which one you like more to use in order to code. Yeah. First of all, this integrated development environment can be abbreviated IDE. So I'm going to use this term or this abbreviation IDE in this lecture. An IDE has a few essential features, like creating projects. For instance, Visual Studio, you can create a project just with a simple or one click on the button, and you can create and following a few steps, you create a project from beginning to the end. Also, the IDE comes integrated with a certain number of languages, with tools like debugging, testing, and itself the IDE contains a code editor. Also, the IDE comes with compiler or interpreter, and what is very important, the IDE has strong features and strong support for GUI. This GUI means a graphical user interface. Most of the applications are done using GUI. Unfortunately, the most code editor doesn't have a strong support for GUI, which makes the IDE to have a big advantage compared with using a code editor, in my own opinion. Also, the IDE comes integrated with other tools such as syntax highlighting, autocomplete, automated refactoring. So let's try to make a definition for an IDE. What is an IDE? In my own opinion, an IDE is a collection of software tools that has the role to help the programmer to create various types of applications in a simpler and more efficient manner. For instance, Visual Studio is an IDE. Now let's see what is a code editor. A code editor is a software that helps the programmer to write source code of an application. Most of the time, these code editors are part of a certain IDE. They can live by itself, yeah, so we can use only a code editor, yeah, but as I told you, they could come part of a certain IDE. For instance, Visual Studio Code is a code editor. Now let's see the differences between IDE and code editor. I created this table, and I have this header where you can see the basis of comparison between code editor and IDE. Regarding to tools, the code editor is a simple code editor. By the IDE comes not just with code editor, comes with a lot of tools like debugging, compiler, syntax highlighting, testing. Here is better to say compiling, autocomplete, creating project, brace matching. Autocomplete is supported by both either the code editor and IDE, but I would say the code editor support the autocomplete by installing an extension. So it's not the same thing, yeah, because the IDE comes integrated with the support for the autocomplete. Also, regarding to languages, the both support different languages, but again, the code editor, you need to install an extension to have support for a certain language, for a certain programming language, which makes the code editor to be a bit more difficult to be used, and also sometimes these extensions doesn't work very well. You will struggle a lot, but it's not just about the fact sometimes these extensions are not very high quality, but you need to organize them, you need to select them, so this will create a bit confusion and a bit stress in your mind. So I would say this tool or this feature is much better supported inside IDE, regarding to programming languages, because it comes integrated inside the IDE. Regarding to GUI, graphical user interface, I would say here for code editor the support is very weak, so I wouldn't start to build a GUI application in C# using a code editor. Really, definitely I prefer to use an IDE to build a GUI, because it has very robust tools. Also, the code editor has very weak support for mobile applications, while the IDE has very robust tools for developing mobile applications. I would say, in addition, that the IDE occupy a lot of space on hard disk, and occupy, when is releasing or when it is in use, a lot of space in your RAM, in your internal memory. For example, Visual Studio 2022 has about these requirements. You need at least Windows 10. You need at least a computer with at least 4 GB RAM. But I tell you something, if you run Visual Studio 2022 on 4 GB RAM computer, it won't work properly. It will work very slowly, very slowly. Even if you are using Visual Studio 2022 on 8 GB RAM, will run a bit slowly. You need at least a computer with 16 GB RAM in order that Visual Studio 2022 to work properly. So you need very robust and strong computer in order to run an IDE, while a code editor doesn't occupy a lot of space, occupy just a little space from your hard disk and from your internal memory, and therefore you don't need very robust and strong or performant computer to run a code editor. So these are the advantages, the main advantages of using a code editor. Yeah, you don't need a very performant computer, very strong computer. Also, when you are using a code editor, you are focused more on the code, while when you are using an IDE, sometimes you are not the same focused on the code, because you have integrated with IDE a lot of tools, as you have seen, and this make you a bit distracted and not to be focused on the code enough, and you can get a bit addicted of using all these tools. Yeah, so mainly this is the differences, in my opinion, between IDE and code editor. Again, we are talking about C#, so all what I'm doing here is regarding to C#. Either all these features, all these things you can apply for any programming languages. Okay, so let's see a few examples about IDEs and code editors. We have for C# mainly this code, these IDEs like Visual Studio, which is the most famous and is the most used IDE on the market for building C# applications at this moment. We have another one, Rider, which is has a 30 days trial period, and after comes with a payment like a very fair price monthly or annually. And Replit, this is a free IDE. You can use it free also like Visual Studio, but the big advantage of using an online IDE like this Replit, there are others as well what you can use online, but I like this Replit mainly. The advantage is that you don't need to download and install a executable file in your computer. You just go to your browser and access the IDE, and you are going to use in your browser online this IDE. The disadvantage of using an online IDE is the fact that depends on the performance of your broadband, of your internet. Yeah. Here you have a few examples regarding to code editors like Visual Studio Code, which is the most famous and is the most used code editor on market for building C# applications at this moment. Notepad++, Atom, and Brackets. Now let's see how these IDEs and code editors works. Let's do a few things to see how this debugging, the syntax highlighting, the autocomplete, creating project, brace matching in IDE works. But before, let's go on Google and let's type here Replit. Let's have a look on this Replit. So you can access this Replit very easily using the Google search box. Just type Replit and click on the link which will come up. You have to sign up. As you can see, click on sign up and you just fill in these boxes in order to create an account. Also, you can create an account or open an account using your credentials for Google, GitHub, Facebook, or Apple. Yeah. So after you sign up, you just log in and you can start to build C# applications online using this Replit. How you can do this? You just click on this create REPL, select C#. Here's where is this title box. Write the name of your app like demo C# 01 and click on create REPL button. And here you go. On right side you have these files. You can see the project file, the C# file, yeah, which contains this line of codes, which is a standard lines of code in C#, yeah. And to run this app, just click on run button, and the output will appear here on the right side. So this is Replit. As you have seen, it is very simple and quick way to code in C#. So here is the output. Hello world. Okay, now let's release Visual Studio 2022. Let's create a project. As you can see, using an IDE, you can create a project very easily. Here is a button, this button. You just click on it, create a new project, and you start to create your project. For example, console app. But before we create the project, we just have a look at what I have said before. So an IDE comes with a certain number of languages, programming languages, yeah, C#, C++, F#, JavaScript, Python, Query, TypeScript, Visual Basic, XAML, yeah. And also you can see here you can build a bunch of projects, type projects like Blazor, console, desktop, yeah, mobile, MAUI, machine learning, SQL, web, and so on. Now we are going to create a console application. So select the console app. Next, using .NET. And here I'm going to name this like a demo C# 01. Next, here you will select the .NET which you want to use it. The most recent is .NET 7.0. Create, and actually you created your project from beginning to the end. If you don't do any changes, here is your project. So you just went through a few steps, and your project is ready, as you can see, using an IDE. Yeah, so here inside, this is the code editor. So this comes integrated with IDE. Yeah, and here we can do a few changes just in order to see how this works. If I want to build, I go here and I build these applications. So I have here all the tools what I need. If I want to run, I go here on this green button, click on it, and here you go. The result of the application is output here in console, as you can see, hello world. So just with a few clicks, you can do a lot of things here inside the IDE. Now let's make a few changes here. So I'm going to declare two variables. The type will be integer because I'm using this keyword init. Yeah, and now this is IntelliSense, and this is the autocomplete. This will help me to make the autocomplete. Yeah, I'm going to name this variable A. Yeah, and I'm going to assign it with this value, for example 10. Yeah, semicolon. As you can see, the syntax is highlighted. We have different colors. We have this blue color for the type of the variable, also for the variable, and here for the literal, for the number itself, we have this green color. Yeah, I'm going to declare another integer variable, and then as you can see now, Visual Studio suggests me that I'm going to assign this with this value 11 and the semicolon. If I press the tab key on my keyboard, so that means I agree with the suggestion of Visual Studio. Yeah, so this is the autocomplete. This is a new feature specific for Visual Studio 2022. But I'm going to write here 20. Let's write here a method. And I'm going to use as arguments or okay, I don't know what happened here really. Addition. Now parentheses, and inside the parentheses I'm going to put these two parameters. As you can see, now Visual Studio knows what is the next. Visual Studio proposed me to write the B variable. As you can see, if I press tab key, that means I agree with the proposal of Visual Studio. Yeah, so this is the autocomplete. Actually, Visual Studio made the autocomplete because I didn't press B, I didn't press the close parentheses, I didn't press semicolon. The Visual Studio was who put those there. I press just tab key. Yeah, so this is the autocomplete also. Now is coming the automated refactoring, because here I have a problem. When is this line, red line, that means there is a problem, there is an error. Either you will have this bulb here, or you can go on show potential fixes, click on it, and also here we have generate method addition. So this is our problem. But if you want to preview the changes, you just go on this link, preview changes, click on it. And if you agree the changes suggested by Visual Studio, you just click on apply. So this is the changes what is going to be applied by Visual Studio. Yeah. If you agree with it, just click on apply. And here you go. Yeah. The error disappeared and appeared at the method, the definition of the method. So this was missing, and that's why we had that error. So this is automated refactoring that helps you to fix your code, and also you will see will help to navigate through your code when you want to rename something. Yeah, we will see that in a few seconds. Yeah. But I can do changes here if I want. Actually, here is saying this method is void. That means it won't return anything. Yeah, I can do like I can declare another variable, another integer variable sum, and I can make the addition between a and b variable. So I'm going to write console, which is a class dot. As you can see already, Visual Studio proposed for me this method, write line, and in parentheses this variable sum, as you can see. And here is the IntelliSense. The both are part of autocomplete. Either I'm going to use the IntelliSense, or just I type tab, or just I press tab on my keyboard. The result is the same, and actually I didn't type anything, just I press tab key on the keyboard, as you have seen, and Visual Studio made the completion without any problem. So this is autocomplete. Yeah. Okay, so now let's and also now you can see very well the highlighting syntax. This is a class console, as you can see. Yeah, if you go if you hover with your cursor, you can see here is written class. You see the color is green. For the method, the color is yellow. For the variable is blue, light blue. For the type of the variable, here integer is dark blue. As you can see, for the method, this is the method I created, addition is yellow, is the same with the method built in by C# write line. So in this way is highlighted the syntax, and you can identify what you have inside the code. You can identify the different statements, the different part of the code very clearly. Yeah, this is class, this is method, this is type. You see, void, init. Yeah, so this is the highlighting syntax. Okay, let's release this app. Let's execute this app. Let's see the output. So this is the output. We have the result of the addition, 30, between these two variables, between the values of these two variables. 10 plus 20 is 30, yeah? So also now you have seen the automated refactoring. You see the highlighting syntax, the autocomplete. All these features are part of an IDE, and also you have seen how to create a project. Of course, here we can do a few changes just to make this a bit more intelligible. So like the sum between A and B is, and inside the curly brackets I'm going to put the sum variable, which is the this is called interpolation. Actually I have to put here this sign, yeah, and in this way we can mix string with a variable. All this is a string, and which is found inside this curly brackets, it is a variable. Yeah. Okay. Now I remove this sign, and you will see I don't receive error. Let's execute this again. No errors. It is output inside the console, as you can see. The result, the output, the sum between A and B is sum. But not this is the purpose of this app. The purpose of this app is to make the addition operation and to output the result of addition, which is 30, and not this text sum. So something is wrong with my app. Something is wrong inside. I have an error, but this is not a compiler error. It's not an exception error. This is a logical error, which is part of my code. Something is wrong, something I built wrong. But it's a logical error because my app, the outcome of my app is not good. Yeah, it's not appropriate. So how I can find if something is wrong with my app? Using the debugging. So this is another tool, part of IDE. So I'm going to set here a breakpoint. Let's start the debugging. Click on this button, and here, as you can see, will appear a few errors. Yeah, as you can see here, I'm going to use this error, which is step into. As you can see, the cursor is moving after I press on step into. Now actually the cursor is inside this method addition, yeah, because this code of line will this code line will call this method addition, yeah. And now my cursor is in front of this code line, and if you go down here where is this window locals, you can see the variables, the value assigned. Yeah, as you can see, now the sum has this value 30, before was 0 because the cursor went through this statement, and now is located here in front of this statement, which will output the result. Yeah, and also I can see the sum variable has the value 30, so this works. When I go here and I see I can't see anything, any value. So it's obviously I made a mistake. So here is the mistake. And how I found this mistake? I found this mistake using the debugging. Yeah. Okay. And I come here on this line 14. Where is this statement? And I have another look. What is wrong here? Oh, and now I realize I forgot to type this $sign, which is part of interpolation. And I release again this app. And what I can see now my app is working well. Yeah, because the result is good. It's 30. Actually, is the addition between A and B. And the result is 30. The addition between 10 and 20. So this is the debugging. Yeah. Another important tool, part of IDE. Now, because I want to do a bit more and I want to highlight a bit the refactoring and how you can rename your code, and you can use shortcuts as well. Yeah, so I'm going to use multiplication. I'm going to use another method called multiplication, which are going to use the same variables A and B as arguments. Okay, again, you see here I've got a problem. We have this red curly line, which means we have a problem, an error. Press Ctrl dot and this will appear. Actually, the automated refactoring will be activated by Visual Studio, and here is the problem, generate method multiplication, and click on it, and here you go, you generated the multiplication method. And therefore I'm going to do a bit changes in the code. We can do this a bit differently. We can use another type here, init, That means this code will return a type, because I used for this method addition this type int, and I can use this return keyword in order to return the result of addition. It is a simpler way to code, to get the result of addition. I'm going to do the same thing here for multiplication, but I'm going to use the double type, because the result of multiplication can be real numbers. So this double is used for real numbers, and that's why I'm going to use the double for multiplication. And the same, I'm going to use just the return keyword, and I'm going to make the multiplication between these two variables, A and B. Okay, let's save the changes, and here I'm going to use another two variables. Here integer variable sum, and here double variable multiplication. So let's use here addition as well. Addition. Okay. And now I'm going to use console write line. Yeah, you can see now the autocomplete works very nicely. Console write line addition, very simple. Just I press the tab, and just let's put here a bit text, the dollar sign. Let's use the interpolation. The result of multiplication is I'm going to put inside this curly brackets the multiplication variable. I'm going to copy and paste it here, this, because I'm going to write less text. Just I'm going to change here with addition, and here also addition, Okay, here you go. Let's save. Okay, and let's see the result. Here you go. This is the result. The result of multiplication is 200. The result of addition is 30. We need a bit space here. All right. Okay, now let's see another way to use the automated refactoring. So I want to change the name of this method addition. It seems for me too long. Okay, so let's highlight it. As you can see, all addition word, because even here inside the string addition is highlighted, as you can see, and even the name of the method is highlighted as well. So go with right click of your mouse and click on rename, or you can use this shortcut Control R. So rename, and here don't click this include strings, because if you include the strings, any strings which carry this name will be changed. I show you now. So let's change addition with add. As you can see, these two methods now the name is changed, and press enter. Okay, everywhere where this addition was, it is renamed. As you can see, even this string. So that's why I said if you want to change just the name of the method, don't click include string. Now let's change the name from addition to add. Enter, and as you can see, the name of addition method was changed from addition to add, as you can see, and here now the string is not changed. Let's highlight the name of multiplication method. As you can see, everywhere where we have this name multiplication is highlighted, include the variable. So you have to be careful. Now I'm going to use the shortcut Control R. Here you go. Here again we have include comments, include string. Now I'm gonna to just a method. I'm gonna to leave just multi. Enter. As you can see now the multiplication method name was changed from multiplication to multi. Also, I can change the name of variable if I want to the same using the same rename. Refactoring, I press Ctrl R. Yeah, and here you go. Enter, and the name of the variable is changed. You should be very careful when you are using this feature, find and replace. Yeah, for example, yeah, because now we have, for example, here, if I want to change to replace this name multi, but I want just the method. This is another way of using refactoring. Yeah, multi. This is the name of method. Yeah, so I'm going to write here multi. As you can see, everywhere where is this multi word is highlighted. Now you have here two buttons. This is match case. If you leave match case, it's okay because it's going to be changed. Just replace where is the match case, because here we have a capital letter M, and this is the lower for variable letter M. Replace with, let's see, again multiplication. Yeah, okay, let's see what is going to happen if we are going to use the this feature, matching whole word, and let's deactivate the match case. Yeah, now replace all. Here I've got a B, multiplication. Yeah, replace all. What happened? Yeah, all was replaced where was found this multi, because I activated this match whole word. And here we had multiplication as well, and was the variable, but was with lower M, not with upper M. And now we have error, yeah, because the method has a name, the same name as the variable. So you should be careful. So when you want to use this replace, quick replace feature, you should be very careful with the case. So deactivate match whole word and activate match case, because you have here a case you can see. And now click on replace all, and as you can see, it was changed just the name of the method, multiplication. The name of the variable wasn't changed. Yeah, it is the same, multi. Okay, so that's all regarding to refactoring. So in my opinion, Visual Studio is a wonderful, very good, the best in my opinion, tool to write code in C#. So this is my best option to write code in C#. Now let's see, let's have a look on Visual Studio Code, because it's a code editor. Let's see how the things are working there. We are here in Visual Studio Code, so this is a code editor, and let's see the differences between a code editor, namely this Visual Studio Code, and an IDE, which I used previously, namely Visual Studio 2022. So let's create a project. Here, to create a project is a bit tricky, it's different and more difficult in my opinion. It's a bit headache, so that's why I don't prefer Visual Studio Code. Really, I know it is very famous, but I prefer Visual Studio, to be honest. Okay, in order to create here a project, first of all, you have to open a folder. So click on this button, open folder, and here I'm gonna to create a new folder like demo C#, let's call it 01. Okay, select it and click on it, and the folder was added here inside the Explorer of Visual Studio. As you can see, this is the folder. Now, in order to create a new type of C# application, you have to use CLI. So it's not like in Visual Studio. Yeah, there you have just a button, click on button, and it's much easier, simpler, faster. Yeah, so here you have to use CLI. First of all, let's clear the terminal. Okay, because before I worked here in Visual Studio Code, I did some apps. So the cursor is placed in another folder. Yeah, this demo C#. So it's not the same like this one, because here we have demo C#01. Usually when you open a folder, the cursor will be inside that folder, but this time it is not that. Therefore I'm going to type cd double dots enter. This will make the cursor to make one level up. So now the cursor is inside the root directory C, and again cd, and now I'm going to write the name of my current folder, demo C#01, enter, and the cursor now it is inside my folder demo C#01. Let's clear again this terminal. Let's make it a bit bigger. Okay, so as I told you, in order to create a new type of C# application, we have to use CLI. Therefore I'm going to type .NET new console in order to create a console application. And because I don't go further, I leave it like that. This command, that means the project file will have the name of the folder where is placed in. Okay, enter. It was created this subfolder, obj subfolder, and was created the project file. As you can see, this is the content of standard project file. As I said, the project file will have the name of the folder, demo C#01, as you can see, and this is the program C# file, which has the content of the standard C# code, which comes automatically when you create a new C# console application. Okay, so I can now build this application. Yeah, let's clear again the terminal using .NET build. Here you go. So it's different, isn't it? We have 0 warnings, 0 errors, CLS to clear this terminal. Okay, let's run now this application. .NET run, and here you go. This is the output, hello world. Yeah, it's this statement here with this string hello world. Okay, but what if you want to do debugging? If you want to debug this code, if you want to run from here, yeah, run without debugging. Yeah, let's see what happens. First of all, I should tell you, you need in order to run in output here from the menu, menu to use this run without debugging, you have to use this extension, yeah, which is powered by OmniSharp. Actually is done by Microsoft. Yeah, so install it. It's already installed, yeah, in my computer. So you just type here in this text box C#, enter. It will come first and install it. Yeah. Okay, so you need an extension to be able to write code in C#. Yeah, so it's not the same as Visual Studio. So this is the code editor. You have more work to do. You focus more on the code, that's right, but you're faster and more efficient in Visual Studio, in my opinion. It's easier to create a project and to go further. Yeah. So now, in order to debug this, I'm going to click on this button, run and debug. Click on it. It appears these buttons. You click on generate C# assets for build and debug, and here you go. And here we have these windows: variables, watch, call stack, breakpoints. I don't have now breakpoints. Yeah, I can go on Explorer again. Actually, now I go on run and debug again, and this, as you can see, here was attached .NET Core. Yeah, after I press that button here. All right, and now I can debug this code if I click on this red button here, as you can see, and here we have the result. So actually I run the code hello world, so I can run it now from here, this code, yeah, as you can see, and I can go here, run without debugging. It's the same, yeah, hello world, yeah, and now the output is here in debug console. Yeah, let's do a bit changes here to do debugging also. Yeah, so I'm going to declare again these two variables, a and b. The type is integer, as you can see. Yeah, okay, let's write the addition method, what appear here. As you can see, I've got here the highlighting, because as you can see, the type of variable is highlighted light green, orange for dark orange for variable, for the values assigned like red, orange, and so on. But you should know I've got installed an extension for this. Yeah, it doesn't come automatically integrated like it does in Visual Studio. Yeah, so I'm going to use the parameters a and b and semicolon. And now let's see if we have here a sort of refactoring. Yeah, we have this refactoring. Yeah, I over the method, and here appears this view problem quick fix. Yeah, let's view the problem. It says the name addition does not exist in correct context. So let's close this, and again, and quick fix. Let's see. So here general method. So this is a sort of automated refactoring here in Visual Studio Code. So click on general method action, and the addition method was created. I'm gonna to change the type, and here I'm gonna to write init return a plus b. Yeah, init sum equal, and here console right line, and we have autocomplete as well, as you can see, this IntelliSense. Yeah, but it comes with extension again, so it doesn't come integrated as it does in Visual Studio. Yeah, and here again I'm going to use the interpolation, the $sign, double quotes, the addition result is curly brackets. Here I'm going to write the name of the variable sum, semicolon. Okay, let's run this. Here you go. The addition result is 30. We can do the same thing here in terminal. .NET run, and here you go. It's a bit more clean than here in the back console. Okay, but I want to do a sort of debugging, and I'm going to set here a breakpoint. As you can see, this red dot. And how I'm going to do this, I'm going to go here on run, start debugging, or you can use this green arrow as well, and here appears the debugging arrow. So click on step into, and the cursor is inside the method, as you can see. If you hover the variable, you can see the values 10 for A and 20 for B. Now the cursor is here. The value of some variable is 0 because the cursor didn't pass this statement. Now the test statement is passed by cursor. The value of some variable is 30, which is the result of executing by compiler of this method addition, which will add these two variables, the value of these variables a and b, and here you go, this is the result. Also you can use this green arrow here in order to use the debugging, and you do the same thing. Yeah, so that's all for now. That is the lecture which had the goal to talk about IDE, to have a picture what is an IDE, what you can do using an integrated development environment, what is the differences between IDE and code editor. Thank you for watching this lecture. See you to the next lecture.